Pepsi created a commercial that showed how they made Crystal Pepsi. The commercial was created in 1993, the same year that the product was launched, but they never aired it on TV. They didn't talk about it much. If you ask Pepsi executives about it, they'll simply say that commercial was just something scrapped, nothing unusual. They will refuse to answer any additional questions about it. 20 years later, I discovered a VHS tape version of the commercial in my attic of my house. Why would it be in my house, of all places? The house was previously owned by a Pepsi executive, so it makes sense that they would have left it behind by mistake. The tape was labeled Crystal Pepsi commercial not suitable for airing. I had a VHS player, so I played it. The commercial started by showing a factory in a disclosed location. The factory building was in the middle of the field, so there were no streets, no signs of civilization whatsoever. That which was very strange. The camera then went into the factory, and it showed a cheery man who was well dressed in a suit. He said, "Hi there, you want to know how Crystal Pepsi is made? I'll show you how Crystal Pepsi is made." This is when the commercial takes a gruesome turn. The next scene shows numerous people chained against the wall. They are wearing a backpack with my mysterious liquid inside that was labeled flavoring. They tried to tie the people down to a conveyor belt. At the end of the belt was an enormous meat grinder with a tank nearby. The horrified victims screamed out as tears of agony as the factory was filled with undescribable sounds of grinding meat and crunching bone. And all of the workers stood back and watched them with satisfied smiles on their face. The scene was a pure evil, appeared to be a favorite form of entertainment for their sick minds. After the victims were fed through the grinder, chunks of red meat that was closely resembled beef were deposited into the metal carts. By now, the only worker left was a man with gray hair, wearing a red apron, and he started laughing hysterically as he watched a human meat squirt out of the pipe and onto the carts. The carts had their containers dumped into a flank, and the tank huffled and puffled until they poured out the surprisingly clear liquid into a Crystal Pepsi bottle. The cheery man in the suit who had picked up the bottle and took a swig and said, "There you go, that's how Crystal Pepsi is made. If you want to be a Crystal Pepsi, call this number." I blocked out that number for that reason. I was confused after viewing that commercial. If Crystal Pepsi was made out of, human meat, why wasn't this reported on the news? Why would on earth a commercial like this ever be made? What kind of sick freaks would make of this? Unfortunately, I may never know the answers to these questions. And that, my little pretties, was Crystal Pepsi, the Lost Commercial. A Crystal Pepsi creepypasta written by Full House maker and Suomynona404. My final thoughts on this story. Okay, this was kind of confusing, and that's one of the things I could definitely say about this story was that it's kind of confusing while reading this story. Like, don't get me wrong, I like it, but at the same time, I really don't. Like, I mean, the grammar was pretty good and all that, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the grammar itself was very well made in detail and all that. It actually worked out very well. So, since the original writer of the story is Suomynona404, I'm just gonna put him on the title as the main person main author of the story. Now, I'm gonna sit here and be honest. I mean, when I first heard of this story, this was from Shadow Reader's old channel before it was terminated, and that was like back in 2017. I do remember Shadow actually narrated this story. I mean, this story seemed to be quite interesting, but at the same time, though, I kind of remember, having to like what the whole concept of the story of its own self really was. Now, I mean, the cliche at the beginning with the VHS tape, okay, because most creepypastas, have done that before. but I'm not gonna be too hard. I'm just gonna be honest with, this story. Now, it's a very confusing story from what I can see personally. I mean, it's not terrible or anything. Like, I mean, uh the VHS tape cliche could be left out, not suitable for airing on label thing could not be, I think that, I think I can excuse the VHS tape cliche in this matter though. I'm just gonna excuse it. So yeah, I remember Midnight Creep actually narrated this one as well, and then I took a look at Dave's narration of the story. I mean, it's a good concept for the story of its own self. I'm not gonna lie. But any of you guys might have been, grown up, I guess, in the 90s or something. You might have tried Crystal Pepsi. I don't really know how many of you guys did try Crystal Pepsi, but I never tried Crystal Pepsi, so I don't really know what it would taste like. But I can understand that, if it tastes weird. But this is actually an original story. Well, it's an older story. I mean, this might have been written sometime in 2017 or something, maybe 2016. I'm not sure. But I do remember Shadow actually narrated this story, and I mean, I can definitely say that this story actually did have a really good concept for it all. But I mean, the subject matter of this story was just, like, all by the mean is confusing. Because I do like this story because of the good, the sentence structure and all that is alright. I mean, there were parts of the story that did need to be fixed up, such as some grammatical errors and some punctuation errors. I mean, it's not terrible or anything. It's a short story, so there's definitely that. I mean, like, everything displayed on there is completely, crazy. I can't honestly see, Crystal Pepsi being made from humans or anything like that. I honestly can't see that being the case or anything like that. So, yeah, there's definitely that. This story actually had, somewhat of a interesting, entertainment. Like, it had somewhat entertainment in the story, but at the same time, though, it really just didn't make any sense. Like, I mean, parts of the story just didn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's the main issue with this story. It's not terrible or anything. I just think, it needs to be, revised or something. But yet again, it's just my opinion on the story. I don't hate it. I kind of do like it, but at the same time, I don't. I think you just put this bluntly. I kind of have mixed feelings on this one, so that is definitely one of the reasons why I really have mixed feelings of this story. I'm not gonna lie, it did have somewhat of a good concept, but it was confusing, and parts of the story, especially near the ending, just didn't make sense. That's all I really have to say. Like I'm going to say right now, and like I always continue to say, this is simply my own personal opinion. If you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regarding these creepypastas. This is simply my own personal thoughts. I'm gonna give this one a 6 out of 10. Reason being is that I do like it, but at the same time I really don't. And another thing is it's confusing. I mean, there are some parts of it that really didn't make sense and that it didn't really need to be there. And another thing too is that the grammar was pretty good as well as the sentence structuring and the story. Like, I mean, the sentence structure was all right, and same with the grammar, but it does need to be fixed up. But other than that, it's not a bad story. I mean, there were parts of it that was confusing, but other than that, that's actually another reason why I actually have mixed feelings for this one. But anyways, with that being the case, that being said, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.